You ever have one of those mornings where you walk into the shop, smell the sawdust and the ozone from the welder, and just think, man, I'm lucky I don't have to wear a tie to work?
Tiger, if you wore a tie, you'd manage to get it caught in the drill press within 20 minutes. It's a safety hazard for everyone involved.
You're not wrong. I once tried to wear a scarf in the shop during a cold snap, nearly turned myself into a human lathe. Lesson learned, fashion ends at the shop door. But hey, it's Friday, May 8th, 2026, and we've got a lot to chew on today. We're talking about plastic that acts like armor, cars that'll zap you if you look at them wrong.
And why your Instagram feed is probably the reason your custom furniture isn't selling as fast as it should.
Direct as always, let's dive into the gear first. I've been looking at this new glass fiber TPU 75D from Rosa 3D.
Okay, break that down for me. I know TPU is the squishy stuff, like phone cases. Why do I care if it has glass in it?
Because usually squishy and engine bay don't play nice together. You put a standard 3D print near a hot manifold or soak it in a little stray motor oil, and it turns into a sad, melted puddle of regret. This stuff, it's reinforced. It's like giving your flexible parts a skeletal system. I'm thinking custom intake gaskets, vibration mounts for fuel pumps, things that need to give a little but won't surrender when the temperature climbs.
So it's the tough guy of the filament world. But is it a pain to print?
It'll eat through a brass nozzle like a termite through soft pine. You've got to use hardened steel. But honestly, for the ability to print industrial grade seals on a machine that sits next to my coffee pot, that's a lopsided trade in my favor.
Speaking of things sitting next to your coffee pot, you saw the Duroxen Kickstarter? A desktop CNC lathe that actually fits on a workbench without requiring a structural reinforcement of the floor?
I did. And my inner old timer is grumbling while my inner tech geek is doing backflips. Back in the day, a desktop lathe meant it was small enough that only 4 guys had to help you lift it. This thing is aiming for high precision in a footprint that doesn't claim half your real estate.
I can hear the skepticism in your voice. You think it's too light to be accurate?
It's the eternal struggle. Mass is the friend of precision, but the tech is catching up. If they've dialed in the rigidity, this is a game changer for the guys making custom fountain pens, watch parts, or even just specialized bushings. It's about taking that industrial capability and shrinking the barrier to entry. No more sending out for a 3-week lead time on a simple turn part.
It feels like the gap between I make stuff in my garage and I run a manufacturing plant is getting thinner every single day.
It is, which actually leads us into the big picture stuff. I was looking at the WorldPack STX insights for this year. If you're a mechanic or automotive technician, as the paychecks say, the world just got a lot more sparky.
You mean the high voltage shift? I noticed the 2026 training schedules are basically 80% electronics and 20% how not to get electrocuted.
High voltage and hybrid systems are the new learning how to use a hammer. If you can't navigate a rolling computer, you're basically a high-priced oil changer. The 2026 technician is a diagnostic specialist. You're chasing electrons, not just leaks.
Honestly, that sounds intimidating for the guys who grew up just wanting to swap out carburetors.
It is. It's a total rewire of the brain. But WorldPack hit on something even bigger, business fundamentals. They're saying that being a wizard with a multimeter isn't enough anymore. You have to understand shop flow, how to talk to a client who's terrified of their car's blue screen of death, and how to manage the back end.
So, the lonely genius in the back of the shop is an endangered species?
Extinct or close to it. If you want the top tier pay, you have to be 1 part engineer, 1 part programmer, and 1 part customer service pro. It's a skill stack. You can't just be one dimensional. It's like building a chair. Doesn't matter how pretty the carvings are if the legs are different lengths. The business side is the legs.
Speaking of the legs of a business, can we talk about why you're still trying to do your own marketing? Because the Maker Mogul segment today felt like a personal call out to everyone with a cluttered workshop and a dead Instagram account.
Ouch. My pride. But you're right. We see these guys like Russell Brunson talking about funnels, and most makers just blink and go back to their lathes. We think a buy now button on a website is a marketing strategy.
It's not. It's a digital paperweight.
Exactly. The trend for 2026 is moving toward the journey. People don't just want the walnut cutting board, they want to be part of the story of how that walnut was salvaged from a 100-year-old barn.
But Tiger, most makers I know, including you, would rather eat a bowl of wood chips than spend 4 hours editing a storytelling video for TikTok.
Which is why the mogul action item today is actually my favorite. Use freelance talent. Places like Upwork now have these specialized tiers for social media marketers who specifically understand the makerspace.
So you're saying hire someone to do the shouting so you can keep making?
Exactly. You wouldn't try to forge your own anvil before you started blacksmithing, would you? Well, actually, knowing some of our listeners, they probably would. But you get the point. Leverage the experts. If someone can take your raw footage and turn it into a narrative that sells your work while you're actually at the workbench, making the next piece, that's not an expense. That's an investment.
It's the CEO mindset versus the hobbyist mindset. One of them scales, the other one just gets dusty.
Speaking of Dusty, let's talk weekend projects. Mom's Day is coming up fast, and I've seen a massive surge in these scroll saw designs, specifically these intricate heart within a heart patterns.
Oh, I saw those. They look incredibly fragile. Are they actually doable for a weekend project, or is that just YouTube magic?
Oh, they're frustrating as all get out if you rush them, but that's the point. It's a patience builder. It teaches you blade control and how to listen to the machine. You can't force a scroll saw, you have to dance with it. If you push, the blade snaps. If you hesitate, you burn the wood. It's a metaphor for, well, everything I've messed up in life, really.
Tiger's Philosophy Corner. Don't snap the blade.
Precisely. And if you're looking for something with a little more instant gratification, the DIY countertop refresh guides that are out right now are stellar. We're talking wood and laminate overlays that can make a kitchen or a shop bench look brand new in 48 hours for a couple $100.
I've seen some of those laminates recently. They don't look like the plasticky stuff from the 70s anymore. Some of them actually look like real stone until you're 3 inches away.
The texture technology has gone through the roof. It's the most bang for your buck renovation you can do. It's a great way to practice your adhesive work and edge trimming without the fear of ruining a $5,000 slab of marble.
And the final project on your list for the weekend? The big clean. You're really trying to kill the vibe, aren't you?
I know, it's the least sexy thing you can do in a shop. But listen, I spent 45 minutes yesterday looking for a specific 1/4 inch collet wrench. 45 minutes. I could have built a birdhouse in that time.
I watched you. You walked in a circle 3 times and then kicked a bucket of scrap.
It was a very justified kick. But the point is, an organized shop is a multiplier for your creativity. Every time you have to stop to hunt for a tool, you lose that flow state. This weekend, I'm clearing the decks. I'm blowing out the motors, emptying the dust collectors, and actually putting the wrenches back where the shadows on the pegboard say they go.
It's a reset, like clearing the cache on your computer.
Exactly. You start Monday morning with a blank canvas instead of a crime scene.
So what's the big takeaway for our tigers today? We've covered everything from glass-filled plastic to high-voltage careers and marketing funnels.
I think it's about the shift. The tools are getting smarter, the trades are getting more complex, and the business of making is getting more professional. You can't just stand still and hope your old methods keep working. Whether it's learning how to print with tougher materials or finally admitting you need help with your marketing, the master craftsman of 2026 is someone who never stops being a student.
Even if that means being a student of the shop vac this weekend?
Especially then. Clean your shop, people. Your future self will thank you when you aren't tripping over a pile of offcuts on Monday morning.
Well said. That's our show for today. Go check out the links in the show notes for those Duroxen stats and the Rosa 3D specs.
Stay hungry, stay humble, and for heaven's sake, watch where you put your thumbs. We'll see you next time in the Tiger Den.